Welcome to Smithtown Report. On today's show, we'll talk about one of our crown jewel parks and beaches, Callahans Beach. The park is located in the far west end of town in the hamlet of Fort Salonga. A little background on the property. In the early 1900s, Mr. William J. Callahan of Fort Salonga owned the beach rights, which he very generously gave access to all the residents of Kings Park. Eventually, the beach rights were deeded to the town. The original property was about a third of a mile east of the current location. Sometime later, the State Parks Commission had acquired all the land adjacent to Callahans and wanted to expand the property more and build a golf course. The state had acquired the property where the current park is, and the town had the parcel in the middle. To solve the issue, the state would agree to build the park where it currently resides and give it to the town. The state could have one continuous property and beach and was able to build the golf course. In 1965, the current Callahans Beach Park was dedicated by the town. The town of Smithtown has always been known for its pristine beaches and parks. In recent years, the Parks Department, led by Mr. Joseph Arrico, has been systematically upgrading all the parks in Smithtown one by one. Because of Tropical Storm Ida, which hit New York in September of 2021, and a follow-up nor'easter storm right after, it caused significant damage to the bluff and the seawall from the erosion and the wind at Callahans. The beach rebuild had to be made a priority for safety and environmental reasons. A rebuilding plan came together between various departments and private sector entities. The Parks Department, Environment and Waterways, and the executive assistant to the supervisor, Jim Longworth, internally, and externally, Haydick Engineering and Pioneer Asphalt all worked together to put in motion a plan which included working with the DEC on the environmental permits to move the project forward.
Hello, Jim Longworth.
We spoke to Jim Longworth, the
Yes.
executive assistant to the supervisor, and how the plan came together.
We're doing the plans right now. We should have an approval by this evening.
How I got involved in this project was I've been working for the supervisor. He suggested that I work with the people that are affiliated with the project, both the engineers and the Parks Department and the contractor, to oversee it and report to him about what was going on. My role in the past life was heavy construction, so I was well suited to be participating in this project. Briefly, the project entailed the following things. First of all, it started out as an evaluation of the storm damage. I think the storm was called Ida in September of 21, followed by another nor'easter that occurred shortly after that. The staircase going to the beach had completely collapsed. The discharge area where the outfall from the upper drainage system was completely in shambles and exposed, and it required an evaluation to determine if the town could repair it themselves or if we had to go and seek outside engineering participation from a contractor to achieve what we thought was necessary. Once we decided that we needed to go outside, we hired Haydick Engineering to do the design. Before we could even begin that process, we had to rely on David Barnes in the Department of Environment and Waterways in Smithtown to get in touch with the New York State DEC to make suggestions and recommendations, which took almost 6 months to complete before we were given an opportunity to proceed with a bid. At that point, Haydick completed their design based on the information from the DEC. We decided to put it out to bid close to the end of 22. Pioneer Landscaping and Asphalt was awarded the job. The award was made in October of 22. At that time, we began the work, which basically consisted of a complete drainage renovation on the upper parking lot to enhance the capacity for keeping the water in the parking lot as opposed to draining down towards the beach. It required also the removal of a staircase that had gone down to the beach, along with a replacement. Rather than putting the staircase in, we put in a new sidewalk. Total of 15 dry wells, 18 feet deep, 10-foot diameter, that were installed, along with a new pipe going down the hill to the beach access. We got down to the beach access, we put in equipment that would allow to pick up any debris that was coming down through the pipeline, eventually draining into an outfall pipe that we built. The staircase was in shambles that required complete removal. We had to install 240 feet of steel sheeting, approximately 22 feet deep, with a cap on top of it. We had to install a pipeline going down to the beach and going through the actual wall. And then we also did significant plantings to accommodate the future and keep the soil and the slope intact. The project was funded through various sources, federal, state, and town money. I think to predict going to create a design that you'd like to think would last for a 100-year storm, with the intensity that's taking place in the storms right now, I believe that we have a good chance of keeping the beach intact for the next 25 to 50 years. Again, the severity of the storms I can't determine what they are, but I think this beach has withstood some recent storms very well with minor damage, so I suspect it will continue that way. The project received 3 awards. The first one was from the ASCE, which stands for the Long Island Civil Engineers Award, American Society of Civil Engineers, and that was a Quality of Life Award. We had the Long Island Business Network Award for the Green Project of the Year, and then the New York State Professional of Engineers also awarded us an Outstanding Engineering Award as well for the project. This project was brought about by the combined efforts of the Supervisor's Office, the Town Board, Parks Department, Department of Environmental and Waterways, New York State DEC, also Haydeck Engineering, who did not only the design but the construction inspection. It was teamwork from the very beginning. Everyone cooperated, and Pioneer Landscaping and Asphalt did a very good job on behalf of what we designed, and they deserve credit for their effort as well.
We spoke to David
Hello,
Barnes,
David.
the town's Environmental Protection Director, about working with other entities and coordinating the necessary permits with the DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation.
This project became very involved. It first started out as a repair of some storm damaged steps, but as we developed the project, the drainage system for the parking lot of Callahans Beach and the roadway, we had to go to the sources of what caused the problem. And that was rainwater flooding down and over top of the bluff. So we reconstructed the drainage system, we repaired the bluff, and all of those things in accordance with the DEC requirements, and getting the DEC permits took considerable time. The Planning Department and the Department of Environment and Waterways has been monitoring the bluffs in Smithtown, especially here at Callahans Park, for about 20 years. We have data going back to 2001, and we've kept track of how much the bluff has eroded. It erodes about 1.2 feet per year. That got even worse with the strong storms that have been occurring on a more frequent basis. That erosion is what undermined the staircase, so our project needed to take that into account. The project was constructed in accordance with the requirements of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, which included replanting the bluff with native species and American beach grass, repair the drainage, and the construction of the seawall reinforced with rocks at the bottom to protect it from erosion. The Department of Environment and Waterways has started a study for a bluff management plan, and we have gotten some outside consulting experts to assist us in developing this bluff management guide that we're going to make ready for all property owners that are on the water in Smithtown. And this will help property owners and the town maintain their facilities and their bluffs to avoid such catastrophic issues in the future.
We spoke to Town Park Maintenance Director Joseph Arrico about the rebuild of Callahans Beach and Park.
When we first saw the damage here at Callahans, it was quite extensive during those storms. So our plan was to rebuild it in a better quality of material and lumber that's available to us today that wasn't available years ago. And we knew that we had our work cut out for us with the bluff, the DEC, the road damage, also the concrete damage. So our plan was to build it back better so it would last for many more years and weather storms that are occurring now on the island. For the rebuild, we removed the playground. We put it to the top of the playground area by the campground. We're going to be putting in a new pavilion. We're going to be adding a water park, and at the same time, where the playground area used to be, we put a pickleball court in. We also have another area there to put another pickleball court in within the next several years. We decided to move the concert to this location for the end of the year to have the last one. And with the newly renovated park, this area was perfect for it. Supervisor Wareheim came up with the idea, and it was a complete hit. Callahans was made a priority because of the severe damage that was caused, that you could not get down to the beach. That needed to be repaired immediately because any delay would cause further damage and cost the town more money. So it was made #1 priority on our list, and that's what we did. It's a huge undertaking, this project for the Parks Department, because there were so many different assets that had to be filled. The project was brought in under budget, which was one of the biggest accomplishments because there were so many different things that could have gone wrong. And we also brought the project in several months sooner than anticipated. So the park was open in the season that we promised, and we were very pleased with that.
The end result was a pristine park built back better with the new stairs to access the beach. To protect the bluff and slope from future extreme weather events, and create a great destination for a community to enjoy for years to come. For Smithtown Report, I'm Bob Cleveland. Thanks for watching.